When Georgia O'Keeffe was born in 1887, Alfred Stieglitz was 24 and already coming into his own as a modern art photographer. Later in life, when he was already famous, Stieglitz came upon his greatest subject, lover, and wife. Georgia O'Keeffe first posed for Alfred Stieglitz in 1917. For the next 20 years, she became his primary focus as he created a multi-faceted portrait of the artist. Stieglitz took more than 300 photos of O'Keeffe, often using her own paintings as a backdrop. He believed that O'Keeffe's persona could not be captured in a single image. Instead, he chose to photograph different aspects of her body in each frame. Through this process, Stieglitz often highlighted the hands of one of America's best-known female artists. Whether it was using a tire rim for a backdrop, or the animal skulls that came to define much of O'Keeffe's work, Stieglitz captures the essence of her hands in every photo. This image highlighting her neck, like all the other images, is entitled Georgia O'Keeffe, a Portrait. Through his images, Stieglitz captured O'Keeffe's emotions. Only her husband and fellow artist could ever convey Georgia O'Keeffe in such an intimate and revealing manner. Stieglitz took many nude photos of Georgia O'Keeffe in the same series entitled Georgia O'Keeffe, a Portrait. This image of her torso is also entitled Georgia O'Keeffe, a Portrait. A variation in the photos of the artist is this one entitled Songs of the Sky, No. 2, equivalent Portrait of Georgia, No. 3. When O'Keeffe and Stieglitz were away from each other, they wrote letters on a daily basis, sometimes 3 letters a day, up to 40 pages long. When Georgia O'Keeffe was 42, she was coming into her own with exhibitions in major museums around the country. Around this time, her love of New Mexico was growing stronger, and she spent less time in New York with Stieglitz. O'Keeffe first came to New Mexico at the invitation of Mabel Dodge Lujan in 1929. Lujan was a wealthy oil industry heiress from New York who liked to surround herself with creative people. She was responsible for starting New Mexico's first art colony in the 1800s. Stieglitz took this photo of Georgia O'Keeffe after one of her visits to New Mexico. In 1944, this photo of Alfred Stieglitz and Georgia O'Keeffe was taken at the American Place Gallery. This image tells the story of 2 artists who journeyed together and apart, all the while creating a blueprint for the world of modern art during the 20th century. Immediately following her husband's death in 1946, Georgia O'Keeffe moved permanently to New Mexico. When she died in 1986, her ashes were spread near her home at Pedernal Mountain in the landscape that has become known as O'Keeffe Country.